You have a lot of cardinals around your house too, huh?
No, I'm in the office.
Oh, are you?
Oh, there we go.
I have my window open.
I see you, Rex.
There's Rexy.
Now, who knows? I may get knocked out here in just a second. But if I do, I'll be back.
Quit making her mad. Well, now we're getting fancy. Been in tech training, Greg?
Yes. Corey, are you in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sean, are you in?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mayor.
Don't see them.
I haven't
Aaron,
heard yet.
Aaron will not be here.
Aaron will not? Okay.
No.
Has anybody heard from Mark? I've brought him in, but I don't have visual of him.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we got you.
They're hiding.
All right.
Where's Mark?
Okay.
Mike, I haven't heard from you yet. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're on YouTube and on Zoom. Is anybody got YouTube on also?
Negative.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. Well, mine says live on YouTube.
That's Greg's screen, I think. Right?
Okay. Maybe that is.
Okay. Well, if Aaron's not going to be here, I think we're ready to go if everybody else is ready.
Mark and Jeff on there?
Well, I haven't heard from Jeff. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark is. I haven't heard from Jeff. And he's not.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me?
Yes, Mark is.
All right.
Did everyone else have to do an update before you got started? Night.
I didn't. Maybe that's why mine was kind of funky.
I'm trying to figure out why my name's James.
I don't know. When I accepted you,
Ask.
I asked who James was. I've been trying to figure out all along who James.
I have no idea why. This is the first time I've done it on my computer. I usually do it on my phone, so I don't know why it says that.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was afraid to ask.
That's my alter ego.
The new emoji or whatever that craze is.
Yeah.
Avatar.
Was that Jeff that just came in?
My computer, I usually do it on my phone, so I don't know why it says that.
I'm scanning and I haven't. Don't have anybody else waiting yet.
Hey, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
will I be able to share my screen?
I don't know why you wouldn't. You should be able to.
Well, it says it says the host disabled it.
Well, I've got you on. I can see you. You've got the field house in your background.
Yeah, but I want to share a document from my computer.
Hold on, Corey.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Now you're asking the tough questions.
Rex, it's those signs. Oh, if you're comfortable with me starting that conversation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Be good tonight. We don't have a lot on the agenda and that way
okay.
get that.
I don't have prices yet. Their vendors are slowly reopening, but we can at least kick off the conversation about what it might look like.
All right. I think that's a good idea, Corey.
All right. As well, if the mayor will let me share my screen.
I'm trying.
He's trying to hold you out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Does anybody have Jeff Hancock's phone number that they could call him? And
I think I do right here.
I do, but Kathy's on the phone with Kyle right now, Greg.
okay.
Corey,
My phone.
Yeah.
with us being live on YouTube right now, we can't go back and change our settings for the screen sharing without having to restart everything.
Ah,
So,
no
I will-
signs today.
sorry.
Next
All
time.
right,
Okay, are you online yet?
okay,
Sorry.
no worries.
Jeff said it's not letting him connect yet. He keeps trying to dial in.
He might have to update.
Did it ask you for an update before you started? Okay. He said it says it's connecting and it's waiting on the mayor to let him in.
Yeah, you can see him at the bottom down there.
He said he can see you at the bottom of the list.
BB8 to XT 1045, BB8 to XT 1045.
Oh, man.
That's an aviation board guy.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually Star Wars.
Oh.
Hold on, they're talking. Hang on.
I had one waiting and it was Aaron Dickin and I just admitted him.
Yeah, he said he might jump on.
Mike, I let you back in. Did you get off for a second?
He said he's,
Yeah,
go
just-
ahead with the meeting
just
and
for a
he's
second,
gonna
I did.
try to keep connecting, but I can put him on speakerphone on my phone so he can hear.
Okay.
You wanna do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've hit find participant 3
Okay.
times and nothing else comes up.
Can you hear Jeff?
Yes, I can hear. Can you hear me?
I can.
Can you guys hear Jeff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
As we have 14 participating. So I guess, Jeff, you keep trying. We'll go ahead and start this,
Okay.
please. Thank you to the Lord for this day. Thank you for this opportunity that we can serve our community. Thank you that we can serve our country. I pray that you be with us as we're in this time that we have the attack on our nursing home. Pray that you keep them in the palm of your hands. Help us fight against this virus and come out successful. I pray that you be with each and every decision we make. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 Brenda, you ready for roll call, please?
Yep, Mike Guffey,
Present.
Jeff Hancock,
Present.
Jerry Walden,
Here.
Aaron Dickin,
Here.
Mark Koger,
Here.
Lynn Purdue,
Present.
Rex Peckinpah.
Here.
Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes from the former meeting?
Move
I'll
to
make a
accept
motion
them
to
as
accept the minutes from
presented.
the previous meeting.
Jeff made a motion to accept.
Second.
Rex seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Guffey,
Aye.
Jeff Hancock,
Aye.
Jerry Walden,
Aye.
Aaron Dickin,
Aye.
Mark Koger,
Aye.
Lynn Purdue,
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. President, I turn this meeting over to you.
Okay, well, we have no resolutions or ordinances on the agenda. So we'll start committee reports. Mr. Guffey, do you have anything to share tonight?
As far as the committee, I don't, but I did get an email from, that was forwarded to me from a constituent on South 22nd Street, the 801 South 22nd. And I'm not real familiar with the street lights in Newcastle, what to do, but he is requesting that street be lighted up. I did drive down it. after dark. It's a pretty dark street. There is a stoplight, a street light in the old, where the supermarket sat there at Jerry's Supermarket. It sits there. I guess it's city owned, but the light was out, and I did request Duke to fix that. So I don't know, but just how do we go about maybe getting more lighting there? I need some.
One light out.
Yeah, there's only, and that set's actually right there at the end of, I call it the end of 20th Street, where it comes right into A Avenue there. And it's out, but like I said, I put in with Duke for a work order, and they said they would try to get that done today. But the street actually is pretty dark down the whole street. So, and he is saying that they used to have street lights on that street. So I don't know.
I'll have to look into that. Usually, anybody that has a light, whether it's a resident or council person, whoever it is, calls Kendra. Kendra has one of our people go out and mark it with yellow tape, and calls Duke, and it's marked with yellow tape, so Duke will know exactly which street light it is. So usually that is funneled through Kendra.
Okay, well, Kendra was the one that forwarded the email to me, but I just went down there and looked myself, because you can go on Duke and GPS it and GPS that light, and that's the light that came up, and they said they would try to take care of it. He's just wondering if there's any way they can be any more lighting on that street.
Right,
Because
and I take care of the
between there
street
and
light.
A Avenue and Grand Avenue, pardon me? Between A and Grand, there is no street light. I did check that out.
I'll just have to look at it and see if Duke has a study that they have a candle watt power of how much is each light shines. And I mean, they've got a theory of how far they're supposed to be apart. So I'll look into that. In between the 19th, 20th, A Avenue to Grand Avenue. I'll look into it and see.
Yeah, 20th Street.
Lights there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yes, please. Okay. That would work. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Is that it, Mike?
That's all I have. Yep,
Okay,
that's all I got.
go on to Mr. Hancock. Do you have any report?
I got one. This is probably bad timing, but I'd like to have every council member's input. Then we'll go to you, Mayor, when we're going to open up City Hall. I know the county's going to open up June 14th. The state's going to open June 14th. Are we going to open around June 14th with council members only? And if so, are we going to have department heads come in? And if they do come in, maybe they sit in the audience area, but no audience. I'd like to have everybody's input on that, since churches went to 25 and all that. I'll go back to you, Mike. How about your input on that?
Well, I don't think I have a problem with opening that up. I mean, you know,
Follow
that's
the
where I
state
stand.
Counties. Okay. How about you, Jerry?
Yeah,
I
as
just think,
long as we're, you know,
I just think whatever guidelines are set forth by the mayor, that we need to follow and pursue it, and pursue whatever he decides for us. I'm fine with it. You know,
How about you, Aaron?
I'm just gonna take precautions for myself, but that's okay.
Yes, we need to play with this. Aaron, what's your feeling on it?
Is Aaron still here?
Yeah, sorry, I was muted. I probably don't have a real popular opinion, but remember, I'm from a different generation. But you know, this is working, and just like, you know, I have the not luxury, but blessing of being able to work from home. I mean, I don't think that we necessarily need to rush back to doing in-person meetings until our hand is forced by the state. Because, I mean, has anybody heard any positive or negative feedback from the public in regards to these
I heard
meetings?
no feedback, but I know the state is going to go June 14th. So is the county.
Yeah. Well, that's my 2 cents. I don't think we need to rush it necessarily. I would say last possible minute we could switch.
Mark, how's your feeling?
It doesn't really matter to me either. June 14th is the date that businesses, like office businesses, can open back up. So if that's the date you're thinking of, Jeff, I think City Hall would probably be open before June 14th, but you know, it's no different than any other. City Hall is different than any other business. I mean, you can limit your number of people that come in, number of people that are in every office at certain times, you know. So as for our meeting, I'm kind of with Aaron. If we don't need to meet, you know, face to face, I don't see why we have to.
Okay. Lynn, how's your feeling?
As far as City Hall opening up, I think we should leave that up to the mayor. There's guidelines that have to be put into place, but the meetings, I'm going to have to say, as long as until this thing is, you got a lid on it, I think we should meet electronically.
Okay. And Rex, your feeling?
Well, I'm with Lynn in terms of, I think the mayor in consultation with the staff there in the city building should decide, you know, when they're comfortable opening up the city building and what guidelines need to be used there. As far as the council meeting, I think right now things are going pretty good with these Zoom meetings. Now, I would say if we were going to have a meeting as early as June 14th, that I would be there. I would like everybody that's going to be in that room to be masked. And I think that would, you know, if we practice some social distance and have everybody masked, we're probably relatively safe. But I wouldn't want to be really in a meeting where we had people sitting there with no mask on or anything.
Okay. Yeah, I think the mask will be required. Mayor, what's your feeling?
Well, I've said for the last couple of weeks now that we're going to reevaluate it every week. At this point in time, the BZA, the building inspector's office, is getting really backed up of having a board of zoning meeting, and they have a meeting coming up June 11th. I had a meeting with the building inspector and his office members and Dave Barker today, and we really kind of need to get that rolling. We thought how we would approach that, which would be June 11th before June 14th, is we would treat it first come, first serve, and treat it like the beauticians and barbershops are doing right now. Their case, they would be out in their vehicle until we get done with the first case. We let that person leave. We would text them to come in, and everybody would be in masks. And we're just, if they have people with them, they would have to be seated at social distancing. So there is some business that, and that would be after hours. I'm not sure if that meeting starts at 6:30 or 7. But
Is that the one I'm on, Mayor, the Board of Zoning Appeals, or am I on the?
Yes. It's,
Okay.
you're Mark 1.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
so
just had one meeting so far, and I wasn't sure if that was the zoning
Right.
appeals or, okay, so, yeah, I'd be for coming there if we had masks, if everybody wore a mask.
Well, city court would probably be, as the governor loosens it up, we'll abide by what the governor says. But I've said all along, and it proved to be a fact, that we were going to be 2 to 3 weeks behind Indianapolis. And this past week or past couple weeks, when our nursing home got attacked, and we've got another 38 positives, but we're giving a lot more tests now than we were. I feel like we've done a very good job. I listen very much to what you guys say and what you want. I think when we come back, it would probably, the first meeting or two would probably be a closed door meeting, would just be us on social media and YouTube that people could watch, but we would all be in masks and probably spread the desk out a little bit more. But whatever that date is, today I don't want to sit down and say, well, oh, I'm sure 14th will be fine, because I feel like we're behind Indianapolis a little bit. So I want to use common sense. We'll adjust it every week and or evaluate it every week. And I think hopefully by the end of June, you know, the governor's wanting everything open up in July 4th. They're talking about going ahead and having our fireworks the 4th of July. I feel personally like it's a little too soon, but we don't make that decision. But I think that we should err on the cautious side, not on coming back too soon. So we are going to try to make some stipulations for the building inspector's office June 11th. And if anybody has any other suggestions other than how the beauty shops are doing it, I thought that was a good guideline for us to go by, is just let them come in.
Your Honor?
Yep.
I think you've been doing a good job of making choices about, you know, some of the various steps. And I mean, I think everybody's pretty good as far as most of that stuff, just, you know, using your discretion. I mean, we don't, like you say, we don't know what next week's going to hold. So, I mean, you got to be able to make a decision based on what's happening within that time frame. There's, you know, you have to be able to do that.
Right. Well, thank you. Another situation is, and I don't want to go into great detail. We had a meeting this morning, Board of Works, and since we froze the water shutoffs, if we were shutting water off today, there would be twice as many shutoffs as there has been a month ago at this time. So, you know, people are going to have to pay their water bill, but sometimes when you give people an inch, they're going to take a mile to the last minute. So we discussed a little bit this morning, 2 weeks ahead of time, before we're going to open the water department back up, we're going to make it very publicly known that, you know, pick 2 or 3 weeks out, that here's the date that's coming. So you need to get that caught up and before your water gets shut off. So I presume that we'll do the same thing with our meetings a couple weeks before we're ready to come public again. And my first thought would be that it would be a closed door to the public. Just my first train of thought. So that's my thoughts. I haven't picked a date, haven't thought about a date, but I have on my list that I was going to bring up June 11th to you. Right now, we're holding up some new building projects that's going to go on in the city limits. And I hate to hold up those building projects. I hate to hold up the economy and progress. So we do want to try to get something worked out for June 11th, unless anybody just has a real issue with that. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are there also.
Mr.
Is for the next couple of months, at least, maybe more, closed meetings.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I can tell you that having people waiting out in the parking lot until you're ready for them and having them call when they get there and letting them know that we'll come out to the car and get, that's worked well for us. And we've had a lot of really good compliments on how that's gone. So I don't think that's an issue of having people wait until it's their time to come in. Other thing is, I think it may be easy to take a quick temperature check with those new thermometers. We can have EMS or someone like that do that as people enter. That'd be another safety check. So that's what I would suggest. But I can assure you, having people wait out in the vehicles, it's worked for us. So.
Okay, thank you. Well, we have 4 or 5 of those thermometers ordered, but unfortunately they had to come from China, and I think they're in a 14-day quarantine in Chicago. So we've got them coming. We just don't know when they're going to get here, but they have arrived in the States. They're in Chicago.
Very good. Okay.
And when we do open back up, I don't want any councilman to be offended, but we'll take everybody's temperature. Doesn't
Yeah.
take but 2
No.
seconds. It just,
No, that's how it should be, Greg.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Mayor, that's no offense.
Okay, so Jeff, are you done?
Yes, that's all.
Okay, Mr. Walden, do you have anything?
Yeah, I have a couple of things here. I need to thank Kenny and Jeff. I've kept them busy on some things. I really appreciate their effort. Mike, I know you had them on a couple of things too. Also need to thank Chief Schofield. Had a little bit of issue this past weekend. He got right on it, so I really appreciate their efforts. Like to say a little something about our youth leagues. Saw where Babe Ruth season was canceled for this summer, and I know most of you have helped out with the youth leagues here in town. And there's a lot of effort that goes into that with those who are overseeing it. There's a lot that goes on before the season starts, and I'm sure it's a huge disappointment for them. And I just want to recognize them for their efforts. And I know it's tough to say we have to cancel the season because, you know, we as a community do a lot with our youth and organizing things like this. So just need to give a shout out to all those who help out with those organizations. I sent out an email concerning chickens, and I'll just go through this and then I'll ask for comments on that. I sent out a copy of the 2 ordinances that I think, and Mr. Mayor, I'm going to ask for your help on this too. So, but 90.15, that's where it states that poultry is prohibited within the city limits. And then I also added the ordinance 90.16, where people can go before the Board of Works and ask for exemptions. Mr. Mayor, is that what you were basically referring to as far as there is a process?
yeah, that all came up when we were in the issue with the pig, and then
Right.
people were complaining about chickens, and then it was brought to my attention that you could have, I don't know, 5 chickens, 6 chickens, but not a rooster. Stipulations, but no roosters that's going to crow at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I would have to ask Joel to define some of that, but it's just like everything else. Everybody wants to twist it or push it as to the farthest to the limit they can possibly get it.
Well, and Mr. Mayor, that's why I added the Indianapolis ordinance that they have. I think that's way out of bounds because they're saying you can have 12 chickens along with the rooster. And, you know, a little bit of my history at that, being in charge of chickens on our little farm, you don't have to have a rooster to have eggs. And depending on the breed of chicken that you get, a chicken lay 4, 5, 6 eggs a week. But what people need to realize, because I was the one cleaning up the manure, when you get chickens, what they need to do is open up a bottle of ammonia and put a towel over their head and breathe that in for about 2 seconds. That's about what it's like cleaning out a chicken house. A lot of the people that have brought this up to me, and the discussion was really kind and heartfelt. What was bringing it up was when this all first started with the coronavirus, there's a shortage of eggs, and now eggs have risen in cost higher than anything else as far as food substance. And they're very sincere in what their thinking was on this, but I think you are correct, Mr. Mayor. Whatever is set for this, it needs to be set at a low number, and there's no need for roosters. Usually I rotated my chickens out. I had it set up where every year I rotated them through. I was on a 2-year cycle. So those hens we'd eat on 1 year and then cycle those through to the next year and all that. There is a process that you follow. But you have to keep in mind, what are you going to do with manure when you clean out the chicken pens and there's just a bunch that goes into it. So that's what I'd want people to understand. And I hope that the Board of Works, when something like this is brought to them, that they take all that into consideration. That's what I have on that.
Has someone got in touch with you wanting to raise chickens to lay eggs for this virus because they can't buy them at the store? Is that?
That was how it first came out back in mid-March, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
And like I said, they were really nice about it. They were just asking for me to basically bring it before the council, which is our duty. And they've been very patient on this. And I just thought this would be a good night to have a discussion on it. And once I read 90.16, I was pretty sure I understood what you were saying, Mr. Mayor, about that. So I do appreciate your help with that.
Okay. All right. Anybody else have any other questions or comments on that?
I mean, I've had multiple discussions throughout my first term on this topic, and I've got some survey results from when I first brought this up back then. I don't know if it was year 1 or year 2, but as we continue to think about it and proceed with conversation, just keep that in mind. So I don't think it's a pandemic issue. I think it's a I mean, I know that there are a lot of other towns that you wouldn't think that are doing it because that's just the way.
I think some people want chickens because we tell them they can't have them. You know, I mean, there's some.
Well, there are some, but the ones who've contacted me is about getting fresh eggs. And to be honest with you, there's nothing like farm fresh eggs. I get them. That's.
Speaking on this, and Jerry, you're right on farm fresh eggs. Well, I was on county council. I was on the planning commission. I had a husband and wife call me up to go down Jordan Drive next to their house. Next door neighbor had chickens in a pen, and they feed them table scraps and all that. The odor was so bad that they couldn't have picnics or anything in their backyard. I talked about Kenny Dell about this, and he said he didn't have the time to police this or the manpower. So keep that in mind.
Well, I think as it states in the exemption process that the humane animal shelter also has a part in it too. So
The animal shelter house?
No, they don't. No, they don't. They're only domesticated. No,
Yeah, they won't come out.
no, it's only domesticated.
that what they be considered?
Well, what else would they be?
I think they're considered a farm animal. Chickens.
Absolutely.
As far as the animal shelter, it's dogs and cats. That's just about it.
Is that all you have, Jerry?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Aaron?
I have nothing to report.
Okay, Mr. Koger?
I have nothing.
Mr. Purdue?
Just give Lee Walker and his staff a shout out. We've had some pretty strong winds lately, and we've had a lot of limbs down in the neighborhood, and they were just spot on, Johnny on the spot to get them taken care of. So just a shout out to Lee and his group. That's all.
Great. Thanks for bringing that up, Lynn. You're exactly right on that. They didn't lay around the city.
All right. Thanks.
The only thing I've got, and it's probably a sore point, and all I want is a report. We don't have to discuss it at all. But what's going on with the wall that fell down there on 18th and Indiana?
Well, the state built it,
Right,
and but they don't want to take ownership in it.
right.
So they have denied. So the people that live there say, well, we didn't pay to have it built. Whoever paid to have it built, they kind of had a yard there before, and they cut
Right.
the back and put the wall up. So I kind of feel like the city is going to have to not take ownership, but probably help out with getting it repaired if it's going to get repaired, because the homeowners say that they would get a lawyer and fight it, and I just don't want to go that far. So Rex, we might have to get $500 that sidewalk money and put towards it to get that wall put back. So
Well, that might be. I wasn't sure, and I saw a guy out there the other day, and I think he was with the state. I don't think he was one of our guys. If he was, I'd never seen him. But he was in the hard hat and in the orange vest, and I mean, obviously a highway worker
right.
of some kind. He's standing across the street, and he was there one time, and I passed again. He's like he was standing there watching the wall. Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Saunders said on that committee, Greg, you might, or Mr. Mayor, you might want to contact him.
Who's that, Jerry?
Tom Saunders.
Yeah.
I just got a real-time update from Mr. Walker, and he said that he's got a call in from the state, and they're having inspectors come out and look at it.
Okay, good.
Lee has really talked to him a lot more than I have. All he's relayed to me is that the state doesn't want to take ownership of it.
Right. Well, he's doing a good job, and he may keep on him long enough to do some of it, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and I say our standpoint is we didn't have anything to do with the design. We didn't have anything to do with the plans. We didn't pay a penny to have it put in. So it's kind of hard for me to feel like it's up to the city's financial responsibility to take care of it. But if we have to, we'll help as much as we can. It's kind of where I stand. So
They get all upset with us if we go in there and fill a pothole on 103.
yes, they would. They have.
So
Yes.
I mean, but anyway, I just wanted a little update on that. Maybe we can go on and get Corey to fill us in a little bit. Then that'll be moving on to the rest of the meeting.
You're up, Corey.
All right, good afternoon, council. Thank you for the opportunity. I was going to share with you some design concepts for a welcome to the city of Newcastle sign out on 38 as you come in from Hagerstown, but we'll do that a different night. In regards to the grant that the city received from the Office of Community and Rural Affairs, the application window is open. It is a grant to city businesses. The maximum grant is $25,000 or up to $25,000. You can find information on our website at growinhenry.com. And if you scroll down to the news section, it's the first news article. You click on it, there's all kinds of information, and the application is actually a Google form. So it's the application itself probably take maybe 5 minutes, and we'll gather those applications, and then our committee will review them, and we'll pick say the top 10, top 15. It depends how many numbers we get. And then we'll ask those businesses to confirm the low to moderate income. And so this is a several step process. So the first process would be to fill out the pre-application. The committee will review and make some initial recommendations for funding. And we're going to try to spread this across all types of businesses and all sizes and all sectors within the city of Newcastle. So within the corporate limits of the city of Newcastle. Maximum grant amount is up to $25,000. We have said that we expect demand to exceed grant funds available. So if you ask for 25,000, we may come back with a counter less than 25,000 to try to spread this and have it impact as many businesses as possible. Once we have a number of businesses that were recommended for funding, then we'll have them confirm the low to moderate income. And that is the primary regulation that we've got to follow per the grant agreement. 51% of the jobs retained through this program must be held by persons of low to moderate income. And let me explain that briefly. And then if you have questions, happy to answer. I'm also happy to talk individually. The low to moderate income is determined by, so say Sally works at a plumbing shop and the plumbing shop has applied for a grant. Sally's job contributes to the grant's objectives of 51% low to moderate income if her family, based on the size of her family, the family income is under a certain number. So to make this simple, let's say Sally, who I've just made her name up, right? I've made up the plumbing company's name as well, just to illustrate an example. Let's say Sally's household is 4 people. She will have to report on a form whether her household income is above or below 51,600. She will not have to reveal her exact family income. She'll just have to say, my family income is below 51,600 or above 51,600. The reason why I picked 51,600 is because that is the low to moderate income number for a family of 4 in Henry County. So 51% of the jobs retained must be held by persons of low to moderate income. That is a restriction or not even a guideline. That is a requirement from the federal funding through the state to the city. On our application, we only have 2 questions that are really regulatory driven. One, is the business owner willing to document the low to moderate income? And 2, is the business owner willing to submit a letter basically saying that, but for this grant, these jobs would be lost. The rest of the questions are designed to understand what type of business it is and the impact that COVID-19 has had on that business. We're really not asking for top secret information on the application. We do want them to give us a revenue range from last year. We want to understand, okay, in 2019, what your gross revenue, is it between 250 and 500,000, or is it between 50 and 100,000? We just want to understand in quote unquote normal times, what was that business's gross revenue? And so the committee, which is the Enterprise Loan Fund Committee, and those people making up the committee are the following: Sean Defoe from the Chamber, Steve Finnegar, Finnegar, Claxton and Estill, or recently retired from Finnegar, Claxton and Estill, Bill Aitchison, the former president of Citizen State Bank, Michelle Back from First Merchants, Montford Switzer from Switzer Transport, John Madison from Defer Varan. Those folks will be reviewing these grant applications and helping us move forward with that. So I've already taken up too much time, but the application is live. growinhenry.com. Email me, call me with questions. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Corey. You already answered a lot of questions that I had absolutely no idea. You know, it always sounds good to get that money, but there are always some extra hoops to jump through. So you've just convinced me that if anybody asks me about it, I'm sending them to you. I'm not going to try to explain anything to them about it. But I appreciate you guys taking that on.
I will say that I'm very appreciative that the city went after this funding and we got it. And we're going to do our very best to get this out efficiently and effectively and fairly. I've had a lot of questions about the low to moderate income, rightly so. My response has been, please go ahead and apply, because the documentation for LMI is actually the third step. So, and that was a recommendation from the city's grant administrating firm, Klein Peter Consulting. They recommended that we not do LMI documentation on every application. You do it strategically on the ones that are being recommended for funding. We're here to answer questions, and if I don't know the answer to the question, I'll call Klein Peter or I'll call Okra. So thank you.
Thank you. Sean, you still there?
I'm still here, Mayor.
We're ready for you.
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you, City Council, and thank you, Mayor, for having me with you this evening. And I wanted to just share with you a couple of items. One, obviously, is that we had to cancel the Memorial Day Parade due to events and circumstances that were outside our purview as a Chamber of Commerce. However, with that said, we have and are putting together for the Veterans Ceremony. I don't know if many of you know this, but the Memorial Day is really two events kind of compressed into close to one. Yes, we have the Memorial Day Parade, but prior to the parade, we always have a Veterans Ceremony and to honor those who had fallen in fighting for our liberties and rights as citizens of the United States. And we do that by inviting the veterans of the many wars that we have been involved in. And we're going to be doing, we're going to continue that aspect, that ceremony virtually. We have called it the Forever Grateful Honoring Our Heroes. It will be, it's a video, but we will air it on May 25th, Memorial Day at 11 a.m. You may view it on our YouTube page or our Facebook page. And we actually registered as an event on our Facebook page. You can look, if you were to go to the Chamber's Facebook page to events, you can click on that and you can say you're going or interested. We have asked and invited several of our elected officials to give a 30 to 45 second video, including our mayor. And hopefully all of those individuals be able to put together a video message, and we'll be putting that all together with pictures of our veterans. We are asking all citizens of Newcastle and Henry County if they have a portrait of their veteran, or if they are a veteran, please send us those pictures. They could send it to info@nchcchamber.com. And we'll make sure that those get into the video in honoring those, our heroes.
Don, could you repeat that?
Yes. Did you want me to repeat my email address?
Yes.
Yeah, it's info@nchcchamber.com.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Okay.
So we're really excited about this opportunity, and we hope to have a lot of participation in that. The second thing is I just learned this morning, and I'm still working through reading it, is that the SBA, as of May 15th, has released their Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness application. We'll be getting this out to our members. A link to it should be already on our website by this evening's time frame. And then we're also going to be mailing out a link tomorrow in an email. But it's the application for the loan forgiveness. It's now finally out there. The application doesn't look too long, but the amount of instructions as such make it about 11 pages, which I guess is short for government. But nonetheless, it is there for our businesses, and we'll try to get that word out to them. We continue with our Love Local campaign. We appreciate that the hospital has partnered with us in offering a $25 gift certificate at the end of the week for those who participate via our Facebook page as well. So those are our three things that I wanted to address to you guys in particular. I also found out today that they are still looking for judges for the voting centers. They're in need of Democrat volunteers. So if you know of any Democrats who would like to volunteer for that, let them know that they're still looking for some. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Corey.
Hey, Rex,
Yep.
Dave let me know that you were on the planning commission.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't think I was on that.
Yeah, not the
Deals.
BZA, you're on the planning
Okay.
commission.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Brenda, do you have anything this evening?
No, huh?
Kendra? Did you bug out on us, Kendra?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Anybody else have anything else to bring up?
I got one thing. There's congratulations in order for Kendra on her graduation from college.
Yay, go, Kendra. Woo!
Good job, Kendra.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that anything else? One thing that I do want to say is I feel like our council got, Daryl, go ahead and bug off. I don't want you to get the big head over this, but I feel like Daryl gave our city council the highest compliment he could possibly give us by saying that our Zoom meetings were successful and that the city was continuing to get things done. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for that, and say thank you to Daryl for putting that in the paper. I felt like that was the highest compliment that we could get, that even though this is not our first choice of transpiring business, but this is the best avenue we have right now. So I just felt like that was about as high as compliment as you guys could get, and I appreciate that. We have a finance meeting after this, and if no one else has anything else to say, Rex, I'll turn over to you for a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Meeting adjourned. Everybody have a safe week.
Bye.
You too.
Bye, guys.
See y'all.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, I'm gonna hang up.
Joel, I forgot to ask if you had anything to say. Did you have anything, Joel?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay, well, that makes for an easy meeting. Sorry about that.
Hey, don't worry about it. I would have spoken up if I had something. So
You make sure you always do.
I will. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you.
It's all different now.
Yeah, they changed everything. I used to go right up here.
Stop share. Used to be a leave meeting button.
There'd just be a leave meeting button right there.
Hit stop share.
Assets, search meeting.
Hit X. Right there. Yeah. That.
In meeting for all.
Yeah.
Paper.